I'm Danny, that witch next door, and you're listening to That Witch Podcast. Hello, neighbor. Danny here, that witch next door. You know, your host, your guide, your mentor, and instructor in all things magic, witchcraft, astrology, and witchy business. And I do have a quick little announcement today. Ashley of StarSeedShadows and myself, we fully planned on doing the Virgo new moon shadow chats for this month. We had it on our calendars, and then we had some scheduling conflicts come up. And I promise you that we both tried up until the very last possible minute to make it work in our schedules to be able to record for shadow chats for this new moon. And it just did not line up. The stars did not, unfortunately, align on this one. So I am here to let you know that unfortunately for this Virgo new moon shadow chats, we are taking a little break. However, we do have the Libra new moon scheduled on both of our calendars. We are very much planning on returning, so don't you worry at all. And we both just wanted to really, really express our warmest gratitude and appreciation for all of you who always understand and embrace us and support us when life is real for us as business owners and as podcast hosts. So thank you for understanding when hiccups like this happen and being patient and still supporting everything that we do. So what I wanted to do instead, I didn't want to do a full entire breakdown on my own because I know what y'all were really looking forward to was Ashley and I both. So instead, what I wanted to do is just give you a really, really quick new moon forecast for you and then pull a card or two for all of us to keep in mind heading into this weekend for this Virgo new moon. Now, depending on any astrologers or astrology resources that you may follow on social media, you may have heard some mixed reviews around this Virgo new moon. There are some rather hard or challenging aspects that are taking place during this new moon, some pretty dang strong squares and some pretty dang strong oppositions. But when I looked at this new moon chart in my honeycomb almanac, I always add the lunations chart. So that's a little cool custom feature that you can actually do in your almanacs is when you order them, you can add on lunations charts. So I have a new moon and a full moon chart ready to go in my spiral brown notebook whenever I need it. It's amazing. When I look at this chart visually, yeah, the squares and the oppositions, I mean, it stands out pretty significantly, don't get me wrong. But there are some really, really nice, beautiful, and harmonious aspects happening as well. This new moon in really classic Virgo fashion. When I take the astrology as kind of a whole, what I see here is a challenge to be faced with a really, really powerful tool bag at your side. And this is such quintessential Virgo energy. When we see hard aspects like this, when we see challenge, when we see struggle, when we see problem, when we see something that needs to be fixed, something that needs to be rearranged, Virgo does not run away from that. Virgo leans over and picks up its tool bag because it knows that it will always have everything it needs, everything that it needs within its reach at any given time for any challenge or problem that it faces. Virgo knows this. This is that alchemist energy, okay? This is that earth mutable energy. I don't run from limitations. I don't run from the obstacles in my way. I look around at my surroundings, I look at myself, and I say, what can I do with this? What can I make from this? How can I get through this? How can I get over this? How can I support this? Virgo is the master analyzer and asks all the important questions and then gets to physical work. So I hope that that really, really inspires you for this new moon energy coming up this weekend, especially if you have been following any of the astrology and heard any, as usual, heard any of the silly and very unnecessary fear mongering. We've got lots of planets retrograde right now. So let's lean into this inquisitive Virgo nature and not be afraid to reflect and ask questions right now, truly. And speaking of reflecting and asking questions, it's time to pull a card. So wherever you're sitting, wherever you're standing, if you're able to get your weight feeling as evenly distributed as possible, if you feel called to and it's safe for you to close your eyes, you can go ahead and do so. And let's all go ahead and take a really, really nice, deep cleansing breath together. In and out. And open yourself up to any guidance, any insight that you may be needing or seeking at this time for yourself. We're asking for a message of intention heading into this Virgo new moon. I had a feeling every time I said I was going to pull one card, I just had a feeling 2 would be the amount of cards today. And I was right. So we have 2 cards here. I'm using the Deviant Moon Tarot deck, and you'll see the pictures of these cards in the email that I sent out today, okay? So 2 of Wands reversed coming in before the Page of Cups. Now, 2 of Wands reversed to me, especially in this deck. This is really, really beautiful. So in the Deviant Moon Tarot deck, when the 2 of Wands is upright, I see a figure working in the garden, in the fields. And when I see the 2 of Wands reversed, I will always see a pause or a stop or a halt in action. Number 1, when I see Wands reversed, I'm always going to think, okay, I need to pause, stop, cool the jets, whatever that may be, and analyze this for a second. Does this mean I'm stagnant? Does this mean I'm not moving forward? Does this mean I'm staying in what I know and what's familiar? And I'm needing some inertia, and I'm needing some fuel, and I'm needing some movement? Or, and this is that nature of the 2s especially, or am I in need of this? Am I in need of less movement? Am I in need of pause? Do I need to stop right now what I'm physically doing, how I'm acting, and reevaluate? This is really, really important to keep in mind for you, especially, again, when it comes to 2s. We're always kind of towing a line here. We're towing a line of polarity and duality a little bit. And you take from this reading what fits best for you. But let's bring in the Page of Cups and see if that helps influence it all. Because the Page of Cups upright, and I love this card in this deck so much, because the Page of Cups in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is a figure holding a cup and kind of looking into it with a pretty open-minded look on it, on their face. And a fish is kind of popping out of the cup. And in a lot of ways, we can read into and interpret how we respond and react to life's little surprises. In the Deviant Moon Tarot deck, again, you can see in your email, the figure themselves, the actual page, is also dressed like a fish, which I love. And it's kind of bringing in some Pisces vibes, which I think is very, very balancing right now. So when we're taking a look at Two of Cups, when we're taking a look at the Two of Wands reversed coming in right before the Page of Cups, I want you to ask yourself, we're approaching this new moon. We're approaching a new lunar cycle. Not just our new lunar cycle for the next month, but a brand new Virgo moon lunar cycle in general. Okay. Overall, this will start, we won't have another new moon in Virgo for another full year. Okay. So every new moon carries with it so much newness, so much fresh beginnings and fresh chapters. And when I look at these two cards right next to each other, I want to ask you to ask yourself, have you been holding yourself back from stepping forward into a new version of yourself, into a new environment, into a new chapter for yourself, for fear of the unknown, for fear of what's next? Or are you allowing that to give you inspiration, to give you motivation, to help you feel excited? Even though the unknown can be one of the most intimidating things that we face as humans. I mean, fear of the unknown is at the root of so many lessons and challenges that we face. But fear of, or the unknown itself, is newness, is the new beginning that we're always talking about and manifesting and trying to work toward, right? Have you been in some kind of cycle where your fear of the unknown is holding you back from your new beginning? This Virgo new moon, bring that earth element here and look really practically at your routines and your rituals and your schedules and your systems you have in place for yourself. And don't be afraid to ask yourself what parts of your habits and routines have been actually part of self-sabotage patterns and cycles for yourself. Don't be afraid to go deep, okay, at this new moon for yourself. I really see this Two of Wands, especially now kind of toward the end of our reading. I really see this as a big indicator of our retrograde energy right now. We're not moving forward at our usual pace. We are in the thick of that reflection and review, that slow down, that re-examination time that a retrograde is intended for. So harness that and use that and go deep into your feelings, into your emotions, into your ether when you go into this re-examination of your patterns, your routines, and you're examining what is actually serving your new, fresh beginning that you have been working so hard to manifest for yourself. And be honest with yourself about the parts of them that are actually rooted in fear, generational trauma, personal trauma, patterns of self-sabotage and pain that are actually holding you back from your fullest growth and potential. Okay? Again, I want to remind you the energy we saw in the chart. Virgo does not run from the challenge, okay? Virgo instead looks over and picks up its tool bag because it knows that it has everything that it already needs. It has already learned everything it needs to learn. It's gained everything it needs to gain to face every single challenge that it is ever up against. So I want you to take this energy into your new moon intentions, into your new moon rituals this weekend. I'm sending you so much love. Ashley is sending all of her love to you as well. We are both so incredibly grateful for all of you here. I hope that you can feel that from all of us. So thank you all so much again for your support. We appreciate every last one of you. I hope that you have a beautiful new moon this weekend. If you need anything, don't forget, I'm just right next door. Have a beautiful, wonderful, safe weekend, and stay magical out there. Hi, neighbor. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of That Witch Podcast. If you want to support the show and get your hands on some really magical goodies, make sure you check out some of the awesome companies that I'm an affiliate for in the show notes below. You can also leave a 5-star rating and review on iTunes as well as Spotify now. And really the best way to support That Witch Podcast is just by sharing the show online, like your social media platforms, or telling a friend that you think would enjoy it. If you're looking for more magical content like bonus episodes, classes I teach, and support in your witchcraft, make sure you come check us out in That Witch School, my magical monthly membership with a very welcoming private online community. And don't forget to subscribe to my email list for weekly astro forecasts, journal prompts, and more, and to stay up to date with all of the happenings here in the neighborhood.